Welcome to the ADIA BSEN 16005. Automatic revolving doors. Power operated door set with one or more leads connected to a common vertical axis. Activation. The automatic activators are to ensure that the door is activated by a person approaching the door set at a normal walking pace. The door set may open only when a person is close to the door due to a continuous passage of people causing it to activate. The door set width and its opening speed will affect the distance from the door set to the position of where activation will be initiated to ensure that it will open in time. Activation can be radar, infrared sensors, matte activation, vision sensors, etc. What is matte activation? The door set is activated by pressure being applied to a mat. The mat should measure the same width of the door opening less a maximum of 75 mm on each side. The minimum depth of the mat should be 1000 mm from the plane of the door set or from the leading edge of the door set in open position. Mat activators shall be securely fastened to the floor without the risk of tripping. For two mat activators side by side, the inactive distance between them should not exceed 60 mm. Sensor activation. What is sensor activation? Motion sensing devices or presence sensing devices initiate door set movement. The edge of the activation area for a standard revolving door is a minimum of 1000 mm from the center of the door set. Activation area for a door on an emergency or escape route without breakout is a minimum 1500 mm. It must cover at least the entire opening width. What is manual activation? Manual activation is when a door is activated by a trigger such as a press pad. The activation device must be located in a position where they do not put the user in a potential crushing hazard. Shall be positioned where the user has a clear view of the door set and not susceptible to inadvertent activation. Must be clearly identified and visible. May be provided on power operated door sets used by the public, for instance to help the elderly and infirm persons. What is remote activation? Remote activation enables the door to be activated via a remote command that may be used at a distance from the door set. Activation may be caused by a signal from a fire alarm or a centralized control station following a power failure or by other sources. The remote activation of a door set on escape or an emergency route shall only initiate the opening of the door set. Avoidance of danger points. Protection at danger points. Power operated pedestrian door sets shall be designed to avoid hazards, crushing, shearing, impact and drawing in during the opening and closing cycles. Danger points shall be safeguarded up to 2.5 meters above the floor with the exception of guide slot in drive cover or a drive arm or closing action at the top of the door set, as this is not considered a danger point as any contact with this area requires intentional action. Danger points between lead and frame presenting a finger trap hazard can be protected up to 2 meters. The following can be used to safeguard the danger points: speed, safety distances and safeguards, pivot protection, emergency stop function, lighting, prevention of entrapment, limitation of impact forces. The maximum peripheral speed for a revolving door set up to 3000 mm diameter in 1000 mm per second. Over 3000 mm diameter is 750 mm per second. Safety distances and safeguards. The distance between outer edge of the door set leaf and any part of the drum wall shall be 25 mm minimum to protect against entrapment of fingers. Any offset in the drum wall shall not be more than 10 mm in size unless it's protected. The floor covering shall be even with a maximum unevenness of 4 mm. Any gaps in the floor covering shall not exceed 4 mm. The gap between the lower edge of the door set leaves of the door set and the floor shall not exceed 8 mm. Otherwise, the gap shall be protected by means of protective device, complying with BSEN 16005 4.6.8. The pivoted door set leaves of revolving doors shall incorporate a switching device which detects any movement of the leaf beyond an angle of 15 degrees. The device, when activated, shall stop the control system. After the leaf returns to the operational position, a check is carried out by the monitoring system and automatic restart of the door set is allowed when all of the safety functions are working properly. Revolving door sets shall be equipped with an emergency stop command device in accordance with EN ISO 13850 Stop Category 1. Emergency stop devices shall be positioned at the access point in the inner side of the building. Low energy power operated revolving door sets shall be equipped with an emergency stop command device in accordance with EN ISO 13850 Stop Category 0. The emergency stop device shall be positioned at the access point inside the building. Lighting. Suitable lighting shall be provided to illuminate the swept areas of power if normal ambient lighting is insufficient. Swept areas of the revolving door set shall be illuminated with a minimum of 50 lux. This level can be provided by normal ambient or integral lighting. Prevention of entrapment. It shall be ensured that persons cannot be entrapped in the passage area of the door set during normal service or if power supply fails. It shall be possible to open or close the door set leaf or leaves by means of force no more than 220 newtons. The dynamic forces impacting on a person or obstacles are considered safe if it does not exceed the figures below. The maximum permitted dynamic force varies depending on the distance between the door leaf and the opposing edge. The measuring points for each door type and are given in Annex B of the BSEN 16005. Closing edges. Main closing edge and opposing closing edge. The drum wall edge can have a contactless ESPE installed to avoid hazard. This shall be tested using a CA reference body ensuring that the door does not come into contact. If contact is acceptable, a PSPE sensor in the form of a safety edge or buffer sensor can be installed on the drum wall edge with a force limitation of 400 newtons at a 200 mm gap. Secondary closing edge and floor. A horizontal PSPE sensor on the bottom of the door leaf can be installed to avoid entrapment. It shall be tested using a CB reference body. The CB reference body is positioned on the floor so that it cannot be pushed away. Safeguarding of this danger point shall be tested using a CB reference body. The entrapment hazard to hand should be safeguarded by vertical PSPE sensor on outer rail of door leaf. The door should stop on contact with CB reference body. An ESPE on the top rail of the door leaf may be required to slow door down in order to Meet the dynamic force level requirements. Stop on contact with CB reference body. Escape routes. Operation mode selection. The mode of operation should be able to be identified easily. If a locked mode of operation is available, the mode of operation will be protected by an access code or key so that changes can be made by authorized personnel only. Revolving door sets with breakout function. Breakout leaves may have additional devices to unlock the breakout function when appropriate or when the mains power goes off. The control device for unlocking the breakout mechanism shall comply with the following requirements. Triggering an alarm, for example, the fire alarm. Release device positioned in a 24-hour-a-day manned area, for example, reception, with direct view of the door set. Emergency stop equipment complying with EN/ISO 13850 with breakout mechanism when the door set stops. Signage. Signage should be affixed to the powered door system at a height of between 1300mm and 1600mm. Leading face of leaf, if breakout fitted. Please continue to the quiz by clicking Mark Assignment.